1. GM Food Controversy. GS Paper 3, Science and Technology, Biotechnology. What is the context about? A letter to Greenpeace endorsed by over 100 Nobel laureates has yet again ignited a debate on whether genetically modified crops are safe or not. What the letter has highlighted. The letter points to how global production of food will have to double by 2050 to meet the demands of a growing global population. The letter said organizations opposed to modern plant breeding, with Greenpeace at their lead, have repeatedly denied these facts and opposed biotechnological innovations in agriculture. It also urges Greenpeace and its supporters to re-examine the issue in the light of experiences of farmers and consumers worldwide as also new scientific findings. The letter wants Greenpeace to abandon its campaign against GM crop in general and golden rice in particular. It says golden rice, a genetically modified variety of rice infused with vitamin A, is a must for curing vitamin A deficiency in children in Africa who are affected by partial blindness because of the deficiency. What is the science behind GM crops? Ever since the discovery of the DNA double helix model by Watson and Crick, scientists realized it was possible to manipulate the DNA features of an organism to create new traits in them by borrowing genes from other organisms and mixing it with theirs. In the case of GM food, scientists insert into a plant's genome one or several genes from another species of plant or even from a bacterium, virus or animal. This is to inject desired traits such as pest resistance or vitamin A, as in the case of golden rice. How are GM crops related to nutrition and food security? Genetic modification can improve the nutritional profile of food and therefore serves as a key element in reducing global rates of malnutrition. For instance, golden rice is enhanced with beta-carotene and therefore provides a dose of vitamin A nutrient lacking in many diets around the world. Vitamin A deficiency leads to the death of nearly 700,000 children each year, so golden rice is a crucial initiative in reducing malnutrition. Additionally, in India, using BT corn led to the consumption of more nutritious foods, including fruits, vegetables, and animal products because of increased incomes. Another study in India showed that each hectare of BT cotton increased caloric intake by 74 calories per person per day and that 7.93% of households using BT cotton were food insecure as opposed to 19.94% of those using non-GM cotton. What are the effects of genetic modification on the environment? Genetically modified crops are more efficient and therefore use less agricultural inputs to produce the same amount of food. GM technology reduced pesticide use by 8.9% in the period from 1996 to 2011. Because genetically modified crops require less plowing and chemical usage, GM technology can reduce fossil fuel and CO2 emissions. Genetic engineering can therefore help to ameliorate the effects of agriculture on the environment. Farming accounted for 24% of global greenhouse gas emissions in 2010 and 70% of freshwater use. Scientists are developing GM crops that are resistant to flood, drought, and cold, which improves agricultural resistance to climate change. GM crops also allow for greater use of no-till cultivation, which helps with carbon sequestration, soil erosion prevention, and better soil fertility. The GM scene in India. Though India has resisted GM food production till now, there have been instances of GM food being imported into the country, including corn, baby food, and breakfast cereal, which have been introduced without adherence to relevant labeling laws. While the Directorate General of Foreign Trade notification in 2013 addressed the issue of labeling by requiring those importing GM food to explicitly mention it in their labels, in the case of home manufactured products like edible oil, there are chances of GM cottonseed oil being mixed with other edible oil without any labeling. Though no state government in India has permitted commercial cultivation of GM food till now, field trials for 21 GM food crops, including GM vegetables and cereals, have been approved by the government.